Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our gerrymandering series. In our last video, we explained what gerrymandering is and how it shapes our political power.
So today, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest redistricting fights in the country, Texas.
Yay!
And it's a lot. Politics, lawsuits, walkouts, and even lawmakers locked into the state capitol.
Right. So, let's start with a little bit of background. Texas last redrew its maps in 2021 after the 2020 census.
As usual.
Yeah.
But those maps were immediately challenged in court, and the lawsuits argued they some of the districts discriminated against Black and Latino voters.
Right. And during that trial, state officials repeatedly testified that they were blind to race when creating the maps, which that's not possible to be blind to race.
Yeah, and federal courts have found at least one Texas map in violation of the Voting Rights Act every single decade since 1965, when the Voting Rights Act was passed.
Right. So fast forward to 2025, today, according to the New York Times, the Trump administration urged Republican leaders in the U.S. House to redistrict Texas again, this time mid-decade, specifically to gain more Republican seats, because their policies are so unpopular. It seems like Trump feels the need to cheat.
Yeah,
to try to gain control.
And it wasn't even like hidden at all. He came right out and said, "Yeah, we're going to get 5 more seats."
Yeah,
I've told him to do it.
Governor Abbott. Yeah, I need 5 more seats, and the audacity of saying he believes that he's entitled to them.
Yeah, and what happened to states' rights?
Right.
Why are the states being instructed what to do by the president?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense. And I don't think the Texas governor wanted to do it at first.
Yeah, no.
He's like, I don't want to pick a fight with my own delegation.
Yep. And see, not long after Trump personally called Abbott, he added this mid-decade redistricting to the agenda for a special legislative session.
Yep. So privately, a lot of the Texas Republicans opposed the plan.
Yeah.
But then once they found out Trump had threw his weight behind it, a lot of them admitted, well, I guess we've just got to do it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, Representative Troy Nehls even said, quote, "If we could redraw Texas and it fits within the confines of the law and everything, well, then let's get her done."
Get her done. That's right.
But then there's the DOJ conflict.
Yeah. So just 2 days before Governor Abbott announced the special session to do the redistricting, the U.S. Department of Justice sent a letter to Texas.
That letter accused Texas of having 4 unconstitutionally racially gerrymandered districts.
Mm-hmm. Now, something that's interesting is that the Department of Justice had already filed a lawsuit against Texas about the 2021 maps, but the Department of Justice dropped that as soon as Trump came into office. Yeah. So and now they're saying, oh well, wait, there are some racially unfair districts after all.
But aren't they race blind? I mean,
that's what
I thought they were race blind.
But
legal experts quickly pointed out that the DOJ's interpretation was sloppy.
Yeah.
And could even back Texas into another discrimination lawsuit. Here's why. In 2024, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals reversed a prior ruling and said coalitions of different racial or ethnic groups within one district cannot claim their rights have been violated under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And that's from Petaway v. Galveston County.
Yeah, just last year.
So then, according to this ruling, if a district has a coalition that's a mix of ethnicities, they cannot claim that their district was improperly drawn to allow a white majority to outvote them.
Right. So the Attorney General, Harmeet Dillon, head of the DOJ Civil Rights Division, cited this ruling in her letter to Texas. Mm-hmm. And her letter said that Texas coalition districts were nothing more than vestiges of an unconstitutionally racially based gerrymandering past, which must be abandoned and must now be corrected by Texas.
But I thought they were race blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly. But Justin Levitt, he's a constitutional law expert. He previously served in the DOJ. He said it's sloppily dashed off work, that legal argument. He said it's not befitting of the DOJ's typical quality in both Democratic and Republican administrations, especially on a topic that's so familiar to the agency. They've investigated these districts for years, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he says it looks like the sort of thing I'd expect from an AI engine that didn't know how to do law.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch.
So what happened next? Texas Democrats pulled out one of the oldest tricks in the book, breaking quorum.
So if enough Democrats walked out, there wouldn't be enough legislators to meet quorum and they couldn't vote on the redistricting maps.
Right. So lawmakers who skipped out faced a $500 a day fine and even possible arrest, which isn't legal. Even so, arrest warrants were issued by Texas, albeit not enforceable outside the state.
Right. And these lawmakers, it's important to understand, they have normal jobs in addition to being a state lawmaker. They don't get paid all that much, right?
Yeah.
So $500 a day adds up, right? And so they were trying to fundraise to raise the money to meet the fines. They fled the state. They met with governors in California, Illinois, and New Mexico. But eventually they came back.
Right. After a couple weeks, they're back. So back in Austin, tensions exploded. At one point, Democratic lawmaker Susan Collyer refused to sign a permission slip that would have allowed her to leave the chamber. That permission slip, if signed, said that she agreed to have a 24/7 law enforcement escort to ensure she returned for the vote.
Which a lot of the lawmakers are like, that's ridiculous. Why would we have come back if we weren't planning to, to meet and have a quorum and stuff like that? Why do we need law enforcement to follow us around 24/7? Isn't that kind of illegal? Watching our house while we were gone. Yeah. The FBI or law enforcement. Right. So it was ridiculous. But yeah, Susan Collyer ended up locked inside the chamber overnight because she wouldn't sign the permission slip, so they wouldn't let her out. And the next night, some other Democrats tore up their permission slips and joined her in what they jokingly called a slumber party protest.
Now, Republican leaders even kicked reporters out of the chamber gallery so no one could photograph or talk to them.
Yeah. In the end, though, the Texas House passed the new maps and sent them to the Senate for consideration.
So, Texas shows us how messy and dramatic redistricting can get. But here's the bigger picture. It's not just Texas. Other states are jumping into the fight too.
Right. So in our next episode, we're going to zoom out to the other states, to the national level, California, Florida, Ohio, and beyond. Plus, what some of the courts have to say about this.
Okay, so that'll be like the most interesting episode that we have. So do you have a comment or a question? Drop it in the comments below or email us.
Is there something you'd like us to talk about in a future episode? Tell us what it is.
Check out our Facebook, Blue Sky, and Substack accounts to keep informed and get updates.
Press the like button, hit subscribe, help get the word out.
And welcome to the conversation.